Chuck Norris is a legend and has been for as long as we can remember. He starred in some of our favorites, such as The Way of the Dragon and Walker, Texas Ranger. Not only was he a talented movie star, but also a martial arts master with a black belt in Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Tang Soo Do. He even founded his own discipline called Chun Kuk Do. Clearly, Chuck has left a huge mark in the movie industry, which is why it was a shock to everyone when he decided to quit his career as a movie star. What led to this decision? Well, the reason has been revealed. Stay tuned. The reason he quit acting. Chuck Norris has finally revealed why he left the hardcore world of action films to care for his ailing wife, Gina, who's 54. The star claims that after getting an injection before an MRI scan, his wife has developed illnesses that he says can only be linked to what is called gadolinium deposition disease. In 2013, Gina went through several MRI scans in the U.S. to monitor her rheumatoid arthritis. She received an injection of dye known as a contrast agent that highlights specific organs, blood vessels, or tissues to make them easier for the radiologist to determine the extent of disease or injury. One specific injection used in MRIs contains a heavy metal called gadolinium, which has magnetic properties. And throughout her scans, Gina was given 3 gadolinium injections in 8 days, which is a lot. The couple admits the injection wrecked her health. They spoke to Good Health about her illness. Gina said that within hours after the first jab, she felt like her whole body was on fire. She described it as if acid had been passed through it. She said the burning sensation was isolated at first, but it continued spreading. She was rushed to the hospital 6 times over the coming weeks with excruciating rib pain, breathing difficulties, full-body tremors, muscle weakness, and joint pain. After leaving doctors puzzled as to the cause, she researched her symptoms and came across gadolinium poisoning. But doctors told her it was impossible to be suffering such a thing, as the dye is designed to be out of patients' system within hours after injection. It wasn't until Chuck contacted a clinic in Nevada that recognized gadolinium toxicity that Gina was able to receive appropriate treatment. Gina said by the time she reached the clinic, weeks after she had received the injections, she had lost 15 pounds and was having a hard time swallowing. She had to eat baby food. She says she laid in bed on an IV for 5 months and had to have round-the-clock nursing care. Chuck, meanwhile, slept beside her on the couch and never left. She prayed she would live to raise her children. After spending $2 million of their own money treating her illness, Chuck left the movie business and is now devoting his life to helping Gina raise awareness for gadolinium poisoning. He expressed he's given up his film career to concentrate on Gina, that his whole life right now is about keeping her alive. Now, 4 years on, the couple, who now live on a Texas ranch with twins Dakota and Danny Lee, 16, have filed a lawsuit against 11 pharma companies who make these contrast agents, as they allege such an agent has poisoned Gina. However, Chuck continues to say she's suffered long-term health implications requiring multiple hospitalizations. The contrast agent used on Gina is believed to be used in around a third of the 60 million MRI scans performed annually worldwide. A spokesman for the MHRA told Mail Online that no signs of harm have been identified from gadolinium deposited in the body, but admitted data on the long-term effects are limited. Death rumors. We can all agree that it's been a big year for Chuck Norris. He's appeared during the final season of Hawaii Five-0 and got to see a Walker, Texas Ranger reboot. But this year has also been one that Chuck Norris was claimed dead, or at least what the rumors were saying. Rumors were flying that Chuck Norris had died due to COVID-19 and other health complications. Well, the good news is Chuck is still very much alive. The false statement was supposed to be a joke, and it spread like wildfire through Facebook. The post initially started out as an obit, which was supposed to end up being funny. If you read it carefully, you'll end up realizing it was all a setup. But people don't tend to stop and read things carefully when scrolling through social media. So people started coming across the post and taking it seriously. They assumed Chuck Norris had died. This is unfortunate, as people to this day continue to question whether he's dead or not. The funny thing is that it's not the first time that rumors were circling about Chuck Norris being dead. In 2012, a Facebook scam claimed he had died at age 71. Then a link was sent out to different people asking them to give personal information to win a prize. But Chuck is alive and doing well. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Texas Ranger. When you hear the name Walker, Chuck Norris is probably the first person you think of. This show was a hit in the 90s and ran for 8 seasons. Thanks to this show, Chuck Norris has earned the rep of being a bad guy kicking, justice-finding superstar. No one has dared to touch that legacy until now. but they're remaking the show Walker starring Jared Padalecki. When he spoke with Good Morning America, he was asked if Chuck Norris gave him his blessing. Padalecki said that Chuck had to give him his blessing. Chuck helped create the original version of the show and currently co-owns it. Apparently, Chuck had no issues, and Padalecki was relieved he had his blessing. The current Walker is very, very different to the Walker we're used to, but Chuck Norris gave his blessing without any problems. Luckily, the executive producers, of which Padalecki is one, of Walker, couldn't have ignored the importance of Norris even if they wanted to. It's also fortunate Chuck approved of their idea, not only because he was going to be a part of the new show, but because they made several changes to the story. Even though Padalecki is playing Cordell Walker, this new version of the character is very different. There's a lot less of a focus on Cordell kicking ass due to the fact that Padalecki isn't a professional at martial arts. Padalecki also mentioned another insight on the update of the character, stating his Walker would be, quote, less about what goes through somebody's fists and feet and more about what goes through somebody's head and heart. In this show, there will be a stronger focus on his extended family, which includes his 2 children, his sibling, and his parents. Denies being at Capitol. Another crazy issue that arose was that Chuck Norris was forced to deny that he attended the Capitol Hill insurgency after a photo of a man with a crazy resemblance appeared on social media. Following the riot, someone uploaded a picture to social media of a Trump supporter who shared very similar features to the 80-year-old Chuck. This led many to believe the actor had attended the insurgency. He's a supporter of the Republican Party, a Christian, and also supports gun rights. In a photo uploaded a while back, Chuck said it had come to his attention that unfortunately there was a Chuck Norris lookalike at the D.C. Capitol riots on January 6th, but he made it clear it wasn't him and he wasn't there. He also made it clear that there's no room for violence of any kind in our society, including in the context of political protests, and that a peaceful transition of power is fundamental to the democratic system of government. It's no secret Norris has been known to involve himself in politics, having supported George H.W. Bush in the 1988 elections, as well as throwing his weight behind Mike Huckabee in 2008 in the race for the Republican Party nomination. In 2012, he voiced his backing for Republican candidate Mitt Romney after initially accusing him of flip-flopping and buying the Republican nomination. On the evening of the 2012 election, Norris, along with his wife, posted a video online warning people that if they didn't show up at the polls and vote out President Obama, quote, the country as we know it may be lost forever. And in 2016, Norris voiced his support for President Donald Trump, claiming that Obama and his, quote, craziness would have continued if Hillary Clinton had been elected. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Chuck Norris will ever surprise us as a guest star on the new Walker show? Or has he really given up acting? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.